people to get in off the waiting room, and then we are good to get started. So I call this the 19th meeting of the 63rd session of the Student Senate to order at 7:01 p.m. We have done roll call as people have come into the meeting, and currently we have 33 people present, which puts simple majority at 18, 2/3 at 23. There is no one here to speak in public forum today, so we can move on to approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I move to approve the minutes.
Second.
So with that, we are going to do a voice vote because the little button things aren't working now that they changed the Zoom thing. So basically, I'm going to ask first for all the yays to say it, and you can unmute and say yay, and all the nays, and you can unmute and say nay, and that's how we're gonna do it. So, will all the yays please unmute and say yes?
Yes.
Yes. Will all of my no's please unmute and say no? Seeing that, the yays have it, and we can move on to the approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the agenda.
Motion
Second.
to approve the agenda? Senator Martin seconds it. We're going to do the same thing again. So if you would like to vote yes, please unmute and say yay.
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 If you would like to say no, please unmute and say nay. The yeas have it. We will move on to the consent agenda. There are no items in the consent agenda. There are also no items in unfinished business, so we can move on to item 8, new business. Item A, the clerk will read.
Item A is FB 63-019, individual funding for Balaji Kartikeyan Chandrasekaran, introduced by Senator John Kirk for himself, to authorize the allocation of $65 to Balaji Kartikeyan Chandrasekaran, referred from Budget and Finance, with no vote required today because it is the first read.
Senator Kirk, would you like to give an authorship speech, please?
Yes. So, these individuals came to us, what seemed like forever ago, and they, very cut dry in the information that we already sent out to you guys. They were very just wanting to better themselves, better their community, and better their education. They are very wanting to do what they can for their section of the college. And like I said, it's a very cut dry bill. I believe that they just deserve the money that they are asking. If you have any questions, let me know.
Are there any questions for Senator Kirk? Please raise your Zoom hand, which I believe is now like a little thing on your reactions tab. Okay, seeing as there are no questions, we can move on to item B. The clerk will read.
Item B is FB 63-020, the Student Government Association Budget Act 2021, introduced by Treasurer Zachary James for himself, in compliance with Statute 027, Association Funding Regulations. Chapter 5, the Association's Budget Request. The following budget request was prepared by the Treasurer of the Association and the Association's advisor, approved preliminary by the President of the Association, and presented to the Student Senate for approval. This request has been deemed timely and special ordered by both the Treasurer of the Association and by the Speaker of the Student Senate. This is referred from Budget and Finance with a simple majority vote required, as it was deemed timely per Treasurer James.
Treasurer James, would you like to present the budget to the Senate?
Yeah, so this bill is deemed timely because budgets are due to the budget office by Friday. And so we wanted to get this in to you all after we got it in last night to the Budget and Finance Committee. So basically, I'm going to just go over the big changes, what the big differences are from last year's request and this year's request. So if you look at the $58,000 for association agencies, those are what you all already approved. Since we took out a lot of, since we took out all of the student orgs from student fees, they now have to get funding from SGA. So with the $247,000 increase in student and organization funding, that money will be going towards all the student organizations that usually get money from student fees and the other orgs that just apply for funding regularly. And then another one is the Office of Student Advocate and the SGA stipend one. Those are both salary increases. And if you do not mind, Speaker Badman, I'm going to yield this time to Senator Tubach so we can talk about the amendment that Budget and Finance made last night.
Of course, Senator Tubach, go ahead.
Hey guys, sorry if you hear my cat in the background. He's very upset that I have the door closed. But so we passed an amendment last night to the stipulation that will increase the hourly pay of the executive team and employees therein to $15 an hour. The original stipulation was by Treasurer James in order to adjust the hours to and a little bit of the pay to the necessary increments as he found with discussions with them. And then my amendment that was passed by Budget and Finance was to increase the hourly pay to 15. So I just want to real quickly go over how we got to that. So I've been having a conversation about trying to raise the university minimum wage to $15 an hour. And when having that conversation with Advisor Fonseca and others, the first and most logical place to start was what I could control in SGA, what we could control, because we can't decide necessarily the minimum wage for the university, but we can decide what we pay our employees. So that seemed like the most reasonable place to start. And we want to make sure our positions stay financially viable for the future. It's better for students because our employees get to spend more time focused on their job and not have to worry about possibly getting a second job or other financial hardships. And it's better for SGA overall because it helps us be financially competitive with other employment options. And at the very least, it's a contingency plan for the future in case of a sudden increase in the minimum wage federally or the state level. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to ask me.
Are there any questions about, we'll start first with the proposed changes to student salaries in SGA. Okay, are there any questions about the overall budget for Treasurer James? None? No one has any questions about the budget? Cool. Very clear budget there, James. Zach, proud of you.
Thank you.
With that, we can now move into the debate period on this item. Is there anyone who would like to speak in affirmation of this bill? Seeing none, is there anyone who would like to speak in negation of this bill? Okay, seeing none, we can now move into the voting period on this item. The clerk will again share the Google form in the chat. Make sure you fill that out. And I will wait for as many people to vote as possible.
Speaker Babin,
Yes.
do we need to include our office on there or just our name?
Just your name. Okay. With 34 yeses and 1 no, this bill passes. And it will now be forwarded to the budget office, which it'll then be forwarded to the student fees committee, and we'll move forward there. We can now move on to officer reports, starting off with my report. So I started off my week and kind of this whole semester working on student fees. We've met with Model United Nations and the Childhood Development Center, and I've had further meetings with them to get better understandings of how they operate so that we can make accurate determinations as we are going through the student fees process. I also attended the LAS Town Hall with Dean Hipsley, President Muma, and Provost Lefevre. That was really interesting. If you didn't get the chance to attend, it was really good. There should be other town halls for each of the colleges moving forward. I encourage you to attend the one that matches with your college. But if you missed it, you could attend one of the ones for the other college, and it shouldn't really be that too different of information. I have had continued conversations that I started in the last couple weeks with student involvement. I've worked on some legislation to remove some of the statutes and transfer them to the bylaws. And I just attended the Diversity, Empowerment, Inclusion Committee meeting. So there's a couple other things there and a bit more detail in my report, which you can read in the minutes next week. Are there any questions for me about what I've been working on this week? Okay, seeing none, we can move on. Senator Liu, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So first off is the SJ Diversity Initiative. I'll let Senator Gumbs speak more about that. Above that, I did some research into academic freedom, and I've reached out to General Counsel to hopefully meet with them and get a better understanding of what academic freedom means from a legal standpoint. Also, GTA and advisor awards are open until March 5th, so link is in chat. Spread the word, and nominate anyone you see who criteria. And lastly, the Faculty Senate Academic Affairs Committee met. There's been several new changes approved for programs, and a lot of new programs also approved. So if you're interested in the full list, check my report, or you can ask me right now. And we also discussed adding service learning distinctions to courses in Manner 9. So that's my report.
Sorry, I got distracted. Senator Hull, you can go ahead with your report if there are no questions for Senator Liu.
Oh, I have a question. Sorry, I can't figure out how to read.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this is going to be a short meeting. Senator Liu, could you explain what specific changes are coming with after the Faculty Senate meeting?
So basically, a lot of it is just changes to programs, like maybe addition and subtraction of classes. If you want to know how to look at those changes, I can show you after fact. You can email me, I can show you how to look at those changes. So if any of you want to see the list, you can check out my report later.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions for Senator Liu? Okay, great. Go ahead, Senator Hull.
Hey everyone, I hope your week is going well, getting ready for school to start again. So a lot of my stuff is kind of the same. I also was in attendance of those meetings that Speaker Babin talked about earlier, so I will not bore you with the details. I am working on educating our students about our process in order to request funding from us. There has been an overall majority of that people don't know. Number one, that we have money that people can use in multiple ways. And that they don't know how to do it if they even know that the money exists. So I've been working on that. Scholarships are open until March 5th. Check the SGA website for more details. Please make sure you're letting people know and having everybody apply for those because we want to hand out as much money as possible for scholarships. And then all of my other duties as assigned.
All right, are there any questions for Senator Hull about what she has been working on? Senator Irick?
So talking about informing some groups about funding. So if a group were to apply for funding and then have to cancel or not be able to use that funding, does it automatically go back to us, or can they then apply that funding to something else?
So the current process is, yeah, it makes sense. So the current process is a reimbursement process. So basically we don't hand out the money until they give us receipts of what happened for like the event or whatever it is. So I know from previous conversations with Treasurer James, and if he's still in here, he can correct me. But if they've already purchased something for an event, like we'll still reimburse them if they have to cancel the event. But if like they don't go fully through with the event, they can't move that money to something else. They would have to go through the process again to request money for something else.
Thank you.
Senator Warden?
Would you be able to provide a link in the chat real quick? That's all I really needed.
Are there any other questions for Senator Hull? All right, great. We can now move on to Senator Gums.
Okay, good evening, everyone. So for my report this week, so I met alongside with David Liu and David Garcia. We actually met with Dr. Marshanda Fleming just to give an update on our first year seminars and where we're going, and we got full backing from her. So she will be pushing with us along with administration and faculty to get this in place for next semester. So, and then of course I was tasked to actually present our project to the President Diversity Council next week, Wednesday. So that should be interested. I also met with the Diversity and Inclusion Director from Washburn University. So it was just a simple conversation. We exchanged ideas. So expect more outreach effort and collaboration effort from other universities, and then just regular administrative work, especially creating a task list for my committee. So that's basically what all I did.
Are there any questions for Senator Gums? Okay, seeing none, Senator Perkins, go ahead with your report.
Yeah, so just two key things that I wanted to make sure I shared. So we had a meeting with Vice Mayor Johnson to discuss food access near campus and all the progress that's being made to develop something, whether that's some sort of mart or some sort of Brahms just right off campus, and what that's going to look like, and the developers that he's been meeting with. I'm happy to answer any questions you guys might have, but there's some real progress being made on that, so that's really cool and exciting. Another big thing is that I met with USF Short, and we've just been planning a lot for Higher Education Day, so I've been devoting a lot of time to that, and I want to just throw it out there that if any of you guys are interested in being a part of those meetings, we're meeting with 15 different members of the State House and 5 different state senators to discuss some of our lobbying efforts on mental health and other issues that we've already passed. So if you guys are interested in being part of those meetings, you're more than welcome to. So feel free to reach out to me and email me, and you're more than welcome to be a part of those meetings. But other than that, you can refer to my report for any other details of my week.
Are there any questions for Senator Perkins? Okay, seeing none, we can move on. Senator Day, your report.
Hello, everyone. Few things this week. First of all, I've worked to finalize my edits to the bylaws of the section of the Government Safety and Student Services Committee. These are like not really dramatic changes at all. They're mostly like grammatical and language based, but I did add a few things to the jurisdiction of the committee, not real drastic things, stuff we're kind of working on anyway, but I feel should be in there. I've reached out to some SGA people, and I know Senator Namber Winfrey and Vice Fonseca worked hard on some food insecurity issues and potentially collaborating with the nonprofit Swipe Out Hunger, which I'm not going to get into super great detail about that, but they're doing interesting work related to that. Another thing, and this is just not a huge deal, but I thought I'd bring it up for reference for other chairs. I created a Google Form survey to send to members of my committee in order to collect feedback on how this committee performed last semester to gain an understanding of what they're interested in and what I can enable their creativity in. So I decided to bring that up. I also attended that LES town hall with the president and the provost. That was, like Speaker Babin said, pretty informative, and just other minor duties as assigned.
Does anyone have any questions for Senator Day?
Yeah, sorry, real quick. I don't know if I have the floor. Do I have the floor?
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I don't know if this is the right person to ask, but student health, safety, whatever, that feels like it goes right along with it. But do we have an update on the wellness days?
I have an update on wellness days, or well, I can explain what has been officially said by the university. So basically, there's going to be 2 wellness weeks. And I don't remember the dates off the top of my head, but I'm sure that Vice President Haas can talk more about them. But there's going to be 2 weeks in the semester that are designated mental health weeks. And then the idea is there's going to be counseling services that are free and available to students during those times, and they're asking professors to not schedule tests during those times and to cancel classes if they are able to. But I do believe that they are potentially looking into more of a wellness day where they will cancel classes in the same way that Kansas State just did a couple days ago, if you read the Eagle article about that. Vice President Haas, do you have anything to add? If you are here, I thought I saw you earlier.
Yeah, hi. I will be talking about it in my report. The only other thing that I'll add to that, Olivia, is that we have various departments working through the Health and Wellness Advisory Group to make sure that there is programming on all of those days, on both of those days at least, and in those weeks. So there are different departments coming up with ideas for virtual and on-campus programming, and that will be coming out as like a whole calendar eventually at some point. We're currently gathering the programs that everybody's putting on, and that's just been a process. And then once that's gathered, we will publicize it through SGA social media and Wichita State social media as well. So it's still happening. It's just a work in progress. And like Speaker Babin said, we are reconsidering, I guess, how it's being worded currently with between Faculty Senate and Student Senate, because of just, we can't exactly tell professors to cancel classes, but at the same time, we can ask for everyone on campus to have a mental health day that day. So I think that's the route that we're going to go, is to just push for a campus-wide mental health week.
I did put the dates in the chat. So shout out Senator Glenn for sending me those dates. She had them on hand. So they are there if you need them. Senator Smith, did you have a question?
I did. It's kind of also to go along with the student health thing. Do we have any information on whether or not, after like COVID vaccines have gone to all the people that like really need them when they're open to the general public, if we'll be able to get those through WSU's campus, or if we'll have to do something else?
I don't know that answer personally. Someone else might.
Vice President Haas, I assume that that would be something you would have information on.
Yes, students will be able to get them through campus. There's just no details currently on how or when, but they will be distributed eventually on campus.
Are there any other questions? Okay, seeing none, we can move on. Senator Majors, your report.
Yeah, I'm lagging on my end, so I apologize if I'm lagging on all of your ends. But basically what I've been working on is we just recently forwarded some legislation that Speaker Babin wrote, or our committee at least, forwarded that. It's about repeal or getting rid of some of the statutes into the bylaws, but you'll see that soon enough. Also coming through the legislative pipeline, we're soon going to have a Senate Review Board bill. We're just making some final alterations there, and then that'll be coming to the Senate floor. I recently tasked the committee with finding 2 issues within the bylaws, and we're hopefully going to start working on some broader and even broader broader legislation, and then some more specific pointed legislation with those issues. And then also, just lastly, we have some registered student organizations, or pending registered student organizations, coming down the pipeline as well. So that's what I've been working on.
Are there any questions for Senator Majors? Okay, seeing none, we can now move on to the association reports. Vice President Haas, go ahead with your report.
Hi, everyone. I'm very sorry. I have kind of a lot tonight. I hope your Wednesday is going well. So there are going to be town halls for the Presidential Search Committee. and they're about to happen. There are 3 virtual forums, and it'll be open to all of WSU's community over Zoom. So StratCom will put out more information about that and get out the link to watch that live. But the dates are Wednesday, February 3rd at noon and 4 o'clock, and then Monday, February 8th at 4 o'clock. So I just wanted you guys to be able to mark those down beforehand, and then there will be more information to come later. So beyond that, our chief of staff is working with the other LDs about Higher Ed Day, and we are going to be working as a collective to advocate for mental health services. So if you would like to be a part of that or help out in any way, you can email either our chief of staff, Kathleen Short, or our government relations chair. Ella would be the person to get you in contact with. So there's that. And then obviously the Student Fees Committee has begun meeting with different departments across campus. And then we talked about wellness days already, but our director of policy is also looking into academic freedom policies at WSU. So if you're interested in that, you should reach out to our director of policy as well, and she will collaborate with you on that. And then the Health and Wellness Advisory Board meetings are beginning again. The next one is February 8th from 2 till 3. If you would like to attend the meetings, please reach out to either myself or our Director of Health and Wellness. And if you just want the minutes, email me and I'll shoot them your way and you can read through them, no big deal at all. And then our Director of Community Relations has been working with Common Grounds Food Truck to bring the food truck to campus. So the delivery date should be either the 13th or 27th of February. They haven't really settled on one, but I will let you guys know as soon as I do. And really, it's just free food on campus through a food truck. And then we are also putting together a newsletter for the student government. So that will be really cool to come out and be able to put those things in the newsletter and get everybody up to date on that. So that's all I have, unless anyone has questions.
Are there any questions for Vice President Haas about anything that the executive branch is working on? Okay, seeing none, Advisor Fonseca, go ahead with your report.
Thank you. Good evening, Senator. So as we move forward with this semester, right, I know I mentioned this last week, a couple of the biggest things that will come to you all in the remainder of the semester is the student fees bill. One of the things that's important and crucial, not that you aren't already busy, but during the week of student fees, I recommend and encourage you to watch the live stream, just have it pulled up to the side or whatever you need, just so that you can listen and engage with the conversations and presentation. Because right when the bill comes to you all, I want to make sure that you are all as knowledgeable as possible about the student fees packet. So definitely do utilize that opportunity if you don't currently serve on the committee, but also definitely utilize the person that your caucus sends to represent you on that committee to get updates and information from there as that package comes out. So I'd encourage you to make sure you're paying attention. Budgets are due Friday, so then that means the budget office right after that in about 2 weeks will release the overall package, and we'll get a PDF version of it that we'll put on the website, and then we'll forward that to Speaker Babin so she can send it out to you all. If you want to read it, all couple hundred pages of it, you can definitely do that because it is a lengthy sucker, but it's going to be good. So there's that. The Shock and Support Locker turns 5 years old on Monday. So this entire month of February, we're going to be doing some special recognitions, and we're launching a fundraising campaign on Monday. So it's going to be basically in recognition of the past 5 years of the program and the success of the program as well. So we're really excited to be putting some of that information out. So stay tuned to that. And I think that is all that I have at the moment. One more thing. As you all also remember, we kicked off the election season for the student government. So my one spiel that I will give you is the spiel that I have to give every year. And it's just a reminder that the student government office, and while we're virtual, it's weird, but right, student government office is not a space that people can talk about the elections, talk about campaigning, things like that. So if you come visit the office or whatever, at any official capacity of student government, make sure that we're not violating our ethics clause when it comes to elections. If you want to see that, I will send that over to Speaker Babin, and she can probably just send it out to everyone so you can understand as a sitting member of the student government what the ethics clause is as it relates to elections. Also keep in mind, if you intend on wanting to return to the student government in the next year, which I sincerely hope all of you who are not graduating are considering, keep in mind you will have to run for office. So encourage your peers, encourage people on campus that you think would be great representatives for either the students you represent or just students in general to declare themselves candidates for office. Other than that, I will stand for any questions if there are any. That is all I have.
Are there any questions for Advisor Fonseca? Okay, great. We can now move into remarks and announcements. Does anybody have anything they would like to say for remarks and announcements? Senator Martin.
Hi, I just wanted to remind everybody I did put on a bit of a hold over winter break, but I am still trying to get the WSU spiritualist organization that I'm trying to plan up and running. If you know anybody, any spiritualists, send them my way. I have like a skeleton of what's going on. I also do need members on that. And also I am working on a side project to better incorporate and adapt WSU and WSU organizations for people with ADHD and various other learning disabilities. So if anybody's interested in working with me on that, I do have that going as well.
Advisor Fonseca?
Yes, I forgot one last thing, but the student government this year is also sponsoring the Student Employee of the Year Award. So we are going to be recognizing one undergrad and one grad student employee on campus. I would encourage you, if you have offices that you know students work in or whatnot, to push that information out. It has gone out a couple of times, but we will be pushing it out via social media and things like that, as well as a reminder for the other awards that the student government recognizes. In a couple of weeks, we'll begin the process of some of the internal awards that we give to recognize student government. So you'll be receiving some sort of ballot or something in order to start nominating for some of the awards that we give out to other people, and then as well as ones for inside. So push all that information out, scholarships, all of our awards, so that we can recognize some of the great people we have on campus.
I just posted in the chat box the link to fill out your senator hours. Just as a reminder, in case everybody forgot, you are required to do 1 hour of work for the Senate outside of Senate. So it can't be your actual Senate meeting, and it cannot be your committee meeting. Any other committee you serve on, so if you're on the Supreme Court Committee, or you are on the Student Fees Committee, or you are on the RSC Board of Directors, or any of those other committees, all of those can count as an hour. If you are struggling to figure out what to do for an hour, you can always reach out to Colin Munson, who is the graduate assistant in the Shocker Support Locker, and volunteer in the Shocker Support Locker for an hour. It's a really good way to serve our community and to get your senator hour done. Yeah, it's pretty easy. I've done it a couple times, but please fill out your senator hour. They are due at midnight. Just fill out the form. And otherwise, if there are no other reports or announcements or anything, I need to see Senator Gums and Senator Liu afterwards, but otherwise everyone else can go. Thank you very much.
Hold up, I gotta get the live stream turned off.
Oh, Jacob Tubach didn't stay. I'm sorry, I didn't say his name.
I'll just talk to him tomorrow.